What up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy RotoBeasts. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFSDudes. We're here to present you our NFL Week 1 tight end and defensive picks. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NFL, MLB, and NBA videos. And if you haven't come and checked out our website here at DFSCheatSheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for our DFS needs. So make sure to check out the site here at DFSCheatSheet.com. So, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Let's get it.
Hey, let's get it. Ready to talk some tight end defensive picks real quick before we do. If you guys don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button down below. Helps me out. I really appreciate that from you guys. Also, man, if you haven't taken advantage of our NFL Luxury Box special, make sure to take advantage of that before Sunday. It's an absolute steal. $175. You get all NFL season, plus the rest of MLB and NBA. I mean, you get everything. Everything we got on our site for 1 year for $175. I mean, it's an absolute steal. Take advantage of that. Use promo code NFL 2019. And yeah, let's go, man. So we'll jump into it. We'll talk about tight ends, and then we'll finish off with defense. So we'll start with the top tier guys first. You got Travis Kelce, you got Ertz, and you got George Kittle. They're all in that similar price range. What do you think about the higher price tight ends?
So I rank them Ertz 1, Kittle 2, Kelsey 3, simply because one of matchup. But Zach Ertz, a guy, we've talked about Deshaun Jackson being on that team. Deshaun Jackson is going to be a difference maker, even if it's just from a scheme standpoint. Previously, teams have been able to maybe do some things with bracket coverage on Ertz, which you're not going to be able to allow to safety to do that this year. You're going to have to make sure that you're not letting Deshaun Jackson take the ceiling off your defense. And then they've got two solid wide receivers that they start on the outside already. So, Ertz, I think, number one, he'll get to be work zone coverage over the middle of the field. He'll draw mismatches with linebackers. Kittle, number two, simply because of the fact he's going to get a lot of targets. We've seen him. He's like a baby Gronk from a target share standpoint. And then speaking of Gronk, I never liked Gronkowski when he played Jacksonville. I don't like tight ends against Jacksonville. And one of the reasons why is they've shown Jacksonville has that against a good tight end, they'll go ahead and use Jalen Ramsey to bracket a tight end or to just man up a tight end. Jalen Ramsey is so big and long, they can do that. They have a very solid secondary and defense. And, I mean, if you're going to, part of the scheme I could see them doing is letting Jalen Ramsey play Travis Kelce and then bracketing Tyreek Hill and forcing Mahomes to use checkdowns to his running back and Damian Williams and rally up and make tackles against him, and then they can even cloud over Tyreek Hill. So I don't like the Kansas City players, and I would rank them 1, 2, and 3, Ertz, Kittle, and Kelce.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Kelce at the end of the year is probably going to have the biggest number for tight end. Probably, and that's it's not even a probable. It's almost going to happen. Mahomes likes him.
I would not. I would actually take money that he won't be.
No, who do you think is going to be above him at the end of the year for tight end stats?
I just think that when you look at Philadelphia and you look at their offense and you look at what they don't have in the backfield, I mean, what they have is a collection of running backs that are going to be running back by committee. They've got to throw the football. Carson Wentz has shown he's a really good passer, but I think when you start looking at Philadelphia, I think Zach Ertz will be the top tight end when the year is over. I just think maybe not from a reception standpoint, but I think from an overall production standpoint. And I think George Kittle is going to challenge the number 2 spot.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, the thing is George Kittle had a really good year last year with their number 1 quarterback basically not playing the whole entire year. Now they're getting their best quarterback back. So, I mean, I definitely think that Kittle can have even more of a better year than he did last year. My only thing with Ertz, competing for that top spot is Philadelphia has a lot more weapons, in my opinion, as far as, throwing wise. They have 3 really solid wide receivers compared to, Kansas City. Kelce's their number 2 wide receiver outside of Tyreek Hill. But yeah, no, definitely. I mean, those are clearly going to be the top 3 tight ends when the year ends. I mean, it's really not hard to kind of figure that out. But yeah, no, I like all 3 of those guys overall this year, and I definitely would rank them Ertz, Kittle, and Kelce this week as well. So that's a really, really good way to kind of break that down. Next, we'll go into the mid tier. There's a couple guys that are standing out to me. You got Ingram, Evan Ingram. It's a tough matchup against Dallas. You got Hunter Henry at 6.1, and then you also got OJ Howard. And we talked a little bit about those Tampa Bay wide receivers as well. So, what do you think about those guys?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, of those guys there, I like Hunter Henry the most. Hunter Henry is one of my favorite plays at tight end this week. I just like Hunter Henry quite a bit. I mean, you get the guy back. He's healthy. When he played in his first year, when he had such a big year, he had to challenge Antonio Gates, first of all, for shares. I think that Hunter Henry is the most everybody is on the talent of Evan Ingram, and I don't know if they're on the talent of Evan Ingram or it's just by default that there's not a lot of weapons left and somebody has to make up the receptions and targets that went to Odell Beckham Jr. O.J. Howard, a lot of upside with this guy. He's a talent. We'll have to see. I'm in a wait-and-see mode with Howard. I'm a show-me guy, man. So, he hasn't shown me that he can be that next-level type tight end. And Hunter Henry has shown the upside that he has, especially a guy that can run the middle of the field on your stick routes and your wide read routes. So I like Henry quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. And lastly, two guys in the cheaper end who I feel are a little bit underpriced. Well, we could throw three guys in there. First guy we'll throw in there. What's your thoughts on Njoku this week? We talked a little bit about the Browns receivers. Do you like Njoku as a play this week?
I think Njoku is a really good play. He's a huge target, right? He's a big man for one. And you talk about the weapons that this team has. Njoku is a cheaper version of a Zach Ertz, if you ask me, because you've got Odell Beckham Jr., you've got Landry, you've got I can't think of the other receiver's name that plays in the slot for them. Slipped my mind, but you've got three solid wide receivers, and then you've got Nick Chubb,
right?
And then by the way, you've got this huge, enormous, athletic tight end named David Njoku who can do all the things, be a red zone target, run the middle of the field, mismatch against a linebacker, mismatch against a strong safety. So, I do like Njoku quite a bit as well. I think that you're right. His price is he's underpriced this week.
And so, quick question. So do you like Njoku more or do you like Austin Hooper more? They're basically in the same situation. I mean, they have a ton of weapons around them, so I feel like the middle of the field is going to open up for them. Who would you take this week out of them two? I know we talked about Minnesota's defense being, one of the better defenses this year. We think is going to kind of go down. So do you like Njoku or you like Hooper more?
So let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What's the biggest game Austin Hooper's ever had?
I don't know number-wise exactly, but, I mean, he's had a couple of good games. You got the numbers in front of you?
So last year against Pittsburgh, 12 targets, 9 catches, 77 yards.
Okay.
The following week against Tampa Bay, 10 targets, 9 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown, 17.6 fantasy points. That's his biggest week.
Okay.
That's his biggest week.
Right. I get you. And Njoku had 2 touchdown games, right?
Not just that, but, I mean, you've got Calvin Ridley, who's not a rookie anymore.
Right.
You still have Mohamed Sanu. And, oh, by the way, you've got Julio Jones. So is he the third option? Is he the fourth option? You've got Ito Smith, who's going to be a third down guy. You've got Devontae Freeman, who was like a 2-down back and was very explosive out of the backfield. So where's Hooper as far as options go?
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, week 1 of daily fantasy is so crazy to me because all of the majority of the coverage on fantasy football leading up to week 1 is about season long. So guys who may be a solid, serviceable, play for you to draft in your season long league, they get a lot of hype and their ownership, in my opinion, gets inflated in week 1. Austin Hooper, I think, is a serviceable player for year long. I don't think Austin Hooper is going to win somebody $1 million this weekend by getting 10 catches for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Right. No, that makes sense. So I'm going to move on to the last guy that I'm going to quickly talk about. And I feel like this is a guy that could win you, $1 million. He's just dirt cheap. You're talking about Greg Olsen. I mean, 5.2. We know how much Cam Newton likes Greg Olsen. And this is just an absolute dirt cheap price tag. What do you think about Greg Olsen?
Greg Olsen's interesting. He's very interesting.
He's a red zone target. You know what I mean? Even though he's, in my opinion, their number one wide receiver. They don't. I mean, the other guys are just they have some little dudes that just kind of run deep. I like Olsen. I mean, the price tag. I just seen the price tag and I was like, oh, I gotta mention this guy.
So you're right. He's probably the only receiver on the roster that Cam Newton trusts. And that's what he is. He's Cam Newton's probably most trusting wide receiving option, even though he's a tight end. I just don't know. I think that excuse me, a lot of people are going to take a wait and see approach with him. But this guy is. Let's not forget, before he breaks his foot, we're talking about Kittle and Kelsey and Ertz as the top three tight ends possibly this year when it's all said and done. Greg Olsen has all the talent those three guys have as well.
Right, and that's why like how you're saying, a lot of people are going to take a wait and see approach, and I understand why they're doing that. But when you're getting a guy that has the upside as the top wide receiver at 5.2, he's 2,000 less than some of the other guys. It's like you're going to take a wait and see approach. He's going to do good, and the price tag is going to jump up like crazy. I just feel like it may not necessarily be the best matchup, but it's just dirt cheap price tag. Like, what do you really need for him to get value?
Well, let's just compare it to this really quick. We loved Jimmy Graham yesterday.
Right.
And in fact, I recommended putting Jimmy Graham in your MVP spot or your captain spot in your single game lineups, right? So we loved him because new offense, second year with Aaron Rodgers. The guy had the pedigree of tearing up the league in New Orleans, very solid in Seattle, and then a down year last year, right? So bounce back type deal for him. Greg Olsen, I think, is in a similar type situation. It's going to be the second year with North Turner in this offense. He had two very frustrating years where he broke his foot and then re-broke his foot. And I think he's at the point in his career where it's all out, right? It's balls to the wall. Because I think if he gets injured again, he hangs it up. So I don't think you're going to see this guy leave anything on the table. He's not going to leave any gas left in his tank. I think he's just going to go out and go balls to the wall, ball out. If he happens to get hurt, he knows it's probably it for him.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. So I think Greg Olsen is a good play at the price tag. Let's move over to defense. Defense is the position that it's hard to judge defenses on a weekly basis. I mean, what defenses are good, but when it comes to defenses, you're looking for sacks, you're looking for interceptions, pick sixes, maybe a kickoff return will help you out. Defensive wise, who are you looking at defensive wise this week?
Look, the Los Angeles Rams with the loss of Ndamukong Suh and LaMarcus Joyner, you could look at that and be like, okay, that's a big piece missing out of that defensive unit. But you've got Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib healthy.
Right.
You bring in Eric Weddle, your safety spot, pedigree player, and then you add Clay Matthews. So I think that I think the Rams can get after the passer here. I know Cam Newton is mobile, but one thing to think about here is he does have a sprained foot that he says he feels okay on. Maybe he's not as mobile as he was. I love the Rams. Look, Linval Joseph, I mentioned him last night. You got Daniel Hunter, Everson Griffin with Minnesota. I like them. Jacksonville, Calais Campbell, Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Bouye. They pick up Josh Allen with a first-round pick to add their pass rush. You got to like Jacksonville. And then I think the team that is under the radar here a little bit as far as where their price is, this could make them a cash game lock because they're so cheap, but is the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. I like the Chargers a lot. I was going to say them. I was waiting for you to get done for sure.
Let's be honest here, man. You got Bosa and Melvin Ingram and Casey Hayward, Desmond King. It's a great defense. They can get after the passer. We know you talk about sacks. They can get after the quarterback. So they also have a really, really juicy matchup against the Colts and no Andrew Luck.
Yeah, and two more teams I like, and I'm not trying to take like the easy way out because they're like the higher priced teams, but they deserve to be. You got the Ravens going against Miami and Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's a turnover machine. So, I mean, I think that's a really, really good spot. And then we talked about the Cowboys going against Eli. Eli's a turnover machine himself, and the Dallas' defense is going to be a really, really good defense this year. So I know that they're the higher price ones. I'm not trying to take the easy way out, like I said, but both of those teams are in really, really good matchups as well this week.
So let me just tell you this. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. But I think that the Miami Dolphins are a sneaky, sneaky, sneaky team this week. A very sneaky team. You take a look at Miami, and first of all, let's talk about Baltimore's defense. The one thing that you have to mention if you're going to talk about Baltimore's defense is who left, right? No Terrell Suggs, no C.J. Mosley. We just talked about Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle gone. They did bring in Earl Thomas, who you could say it pre-injury, maybe the top one or two safeties in football.
Right.
And they have Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith's getting long in the tooth, as they say. He's a little bit older as a defensive back. And they lost a lot of talent. There's no doubt that Baltimore lost a lot of talent. They've got some young guys. They're playing Miami. What I don't like about this for Baltimore is I'm not big on the quarterback. I'm not big on Lamar Jackson. I just don't – I'm not big on him, man. So I think Miami is a little sneakier than people think. I don't mind the pick. I think it's a chalk pick. I don't mind it one bit. But I would caution it and say when we talk Monday, I would not be surprised if the Miami Dolphins shock some people with what they bring to the table in this game. And if Lamar Jackson – he's not a good passer, man. If they're able to kind of contain this guy and have a good game plan against him,
the defense is going to be on the field for a long time.
The defense is going to be on the field for a very long time. And here's the most interesting thing about it, right? Ryan Fitzpatrick last year every time he started, he threw for 400 yards. He's got some weapons with Devontae Parker, the running back position, Kenyon Drake. They got rid of what's his name? I can't even think of his name because they like Kenyon Drake so much. He's got a couple of guys to throw to. I just wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson turns the ball over a couple of times and Ryan Fitzpatrick does what Ryan Fitzmagic does.
Yeah. No, and lastly, I got one more team I just quickly want to throw out there. And you actually talked about the defense a little bit yesterday. I like the Jets. I think they're going to be a sneaky team going against Buffalo. Who does Buffalo really have on the offensive side of things?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be improved. You get rid of LaShawn McCoy, right? And why do you get rid of a LaShawn McCoy? Does it have to do with just an age factor? Do you like the kid you drafted? We talked about him yesterday. Frank Gore's going to start. He's old, right? I mean, as good of a play as he is at the value level, if you're looking to create some value and take a flyer on somebody, Devin Singletary didn't go to a big school. So, yeah, I mean, and then talking about the Jets, I agree with you, man. I think the Jets will be much improved this year. And Leonard Williams is a beast. Leonard Williams is an absolute beast. They brought in C.J. Mosley, who gives their linebacking core legitimacy. And, on the back half with Quinnen Williams, I mean, they've got a good, solid star player at all three levels of their defense.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I think the Jets are sneaky, and they're going to go kind of on their own this week. So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. That's our tight end, our defensive picks. If you want more of our week one picks, or you want to check out our optimizer or anything, make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Take advantage of our NFL Luxury Box special. Use promo code NFL 2019. It's available till Sunday. Kickoff 10 a.m. Pacific time. So take advantage. Join the money team, guys. All right. Peace out.